Before this video begins, it is my obligation to warn you that we're gonna be talking about three-ways. I don't like that we fight all the time. I think that there is this idea that I need to put something here that makes you want to go like this, that we have to disagree for content's sake, for the likes, for the subscribers. We need to fight all the time. And I think this is a common thing. This goes way outside of bourbon. This also exists in politics in general in America. And I think it's getting dumb. And I know that really minimalizes something that has major impact. But I just want to say, like, what we do here for the Bourbon Library is what I consider counter-programming. This is a place for us to have a drink and just talk about something that we care about. And more importantly, this is a place where we can enter through the doorway that is bourbon, because we all know it leads to so much more. But I'm here to talk about patriotism. I know. I want to stop fighting, and then I bring up patriotism. But I think I've got something to say about it that we're all going to agree on. All right, so this morning, I was having my morning oatmeal and I was staring at my bottle of Woodford Reserve Double Barrel Oat. And I was thinking about this sort of question of patriotism and, bourbon is America's spirit. And I was thinking about the spirit of America. And, it's President's Day here right now while I'm making this. And I don't know. What do I think about patriotism as it applies to bourbon and as it applies to bourbon hunting? So I have a few ideas and I would like to share them with you and see what you think. What we're here to talk about are 3 ways in which a bourbon hunter can be patriotic. I was recently on a trip to New York City. I found myself sort of overwhelmed by it, by this sense of allegiance to it in a way. And then I was going over the Brooklyn Bridge from Manhattan to Brooklyn. And I saw the Statue of Liberty. And I was thinking to myself, I don't think about her enough, Like what it really means. Like I know. Drink bourbon, talk about bourbon. That's what I'm gonna do, I promise. I just want to take a second to talk about patriotism. Number 1, be a good neighbor, okay? Be a good neighbor. Every time I'm yelling at the TV, my girlfriend always reminds me, and every time that the world feels so overwhelming that how could this all possibly get fixed? My girlfriend reminds me, be a good neighbor. Think about your neighbors. Do something kind for your neighbors. Then everything else should fall into place. Start where you live, okay? So, being a good neighbor also means, I know you're like, God, he's just talking about politics. A good neighbor also means buying regionally, okay? Buying local, supporting local economies, supporting local craftspeople. Buy a regional whiskey. When you're out hunting, it's cool. Buy something from Buffalo Trace. I get it. I love Buffalo Trace products. I like Jim Beam products. I love all the big bourbon companies. but I love buying a regional whiskey. So for example, this is something I would consider a political choice. I beelined it to a local spot called Cooper's Daughter, a female-owned distillery in New York, in Hudson, New York, because after a long time of being a distillery, they finally put out a single barrel. And you know what? It's goddamn delicious. I just want to add that to be a good neighbor means that you should share with your neighbor. Don't not open your bottles just because you want to have the most perfect collection. Are you a patriotic bourbon hunter or not? When you find that special bottle, fine. Wait for the right moment. I get it. But when the right moment comes, open the damn bottle and share the bottle. Because that's the most patriotic thing you can do, trust me. Share that bottle, be a good neighbor. I would like to drink some of your special bottles, so if you want to be my neighbor, that would be great. Number 2, there is no end game. It's not chess, there is no end game, okay? We all want to win and have fun. We are all in this together, okay? I know it feels like there is, and that there are teams and sides, and someone has to beat the other, but there is not. There is no end game. We are in this together. So, the pursuit of bourbon as a hunter is about finding something that excites you, something that you can share with your neighbors. Going back to 1, you see what I did there? Number 3, and I think this is maybe the most important. This land is your land. This land is my land. This land is our land, okay? Now, that's not about owning the land or not sharing the land. That's about caring for the land, all right? We're all living in a world, if we're doing it right, we are all living in a world in which we are planting trees that we will not enjoy the shade of, that someone else will enjoy the shade of. So, treat your land and my land with respect. Let's be kind to Mother Earth. Let's look and support, initiatives to plant more trees so we can make more barrels, so we can have a great time and not feel so bad about it. This land is your land, this land is my land, this land is our land. We need to care for it. We are just passing through, guys. You all know it. The inevitable is coming someday for all of us. So plant a tree that you will not enjoy the shade of, that someone else is going to enjoy the shade of. That's the most important. So look and support brands that are taking care of Mother Earth in some form. That should not be a controversial take, by the way. That's not political, that's patriotic. When you buy regionally, you're supporting local farmers because most of the time, regional craft distillers are buying from around farmers that live in the area. And that's one of the most exciting things you can do. And I think it's one of the most patriotic things you can do. So like I said, chase those wild bourbons that all the YouTubers are talking about and all the websites and the memes and the Buffalo Trace fanboys are getting super excited about. Chase those. By all means, a large, robust bourbon industry in America is goddamn patriotic. But chase some regional ones too, okay? Look for local. Look for your local. When you go places, buy locally because you're gonna support local farmers. And that, to me, is one of the most patriotic things you can do as a bourbon hunter, all right? So that's my top 3 sort of ways to be patriotic as a bourbon hunter. I hope that you will share this video and you will subscribe and you'll enjoy, well, it's President's Day for me, but perhaps whatever day you're watching this, you are enjoying your life doing something patriotic like drinking bourbon. To drink is to live. Do you guys have like a way that you take wax off? Because I really struggle with it. I do not understand how to get, I know I guess I could use a knife, but I just get so damn frustrated sometimes. How do you do it?